Leveled up with my tactics, sipping on a can of pure magic. Moves being made, cash stacking. Blood still boiling, what's bracking? Not a single stain on my fabric. Me and Seth brewing up a classic. Hot wild flow from the
Hi guys, what's going on?
What's up?
I know, it's like acknowledge the people, babe. Welcome back to another episode of Beer Me Dr. V. We're going to be talking about beers that are malty and the malting process. And so we do have 3 beers today. All of them have specific strong malty forward flavors in them. So we'll see how this episode goes. I'm not really a huge malty fan. And I think if you guys remember the first initial episode we did, I talked about how I thought Texas beers were all just straight malty because that's what I got, the first 3 beers. We also went to Total Wine to get these 3 cans. So thanks again for Total Wine for having a good assortment of individual cans. So we just purchased the cans we're going to be sampling and then not have to worry about another 6-pack of potentially beer that we don't like. Learned about this artist through Clark Kent. He was wearing a hat that looks like the True Brand, or this is True Brand, right? Mm-hmm. True Brand Dallas hats, but it said Fort Worth upside down. And we're like, oh, cool, that's a cool hat. Who makes that? And he was like, oh, it's that Fort Worth like rap artist that he raps about beer. So we're like, what? We didn't even know that was a thing. And so that's what the song that we were just playing is called Classic Brew. And it's featuring, and his name is Joe, but it's like a J with, and like a, what is this? /O/E. And that song actually features Session, but it's spelled Sehun. That's funny. Okay. But yeah, so he's got a lot of music, and I'm assuming he's from Fort Worth, but from when I was listening a little bit of his music, he's got a lot of chopped and screwed music. So I wonder if he's like from Houston originally, because he's got that chopped and screwed vibe to his songs. But yeah, they're all pretty much about beer. I thought that was really cool. I'm pretty sure these beers are all from the DFW area, right? That we picked. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into just some different information. So there's a lot of information online. There's actually a lot of videos on YouTube about the malting process. So that was actually kind of cool to watch. I was trying to read through my How to Brew book, and I got through like one full page essentially. So there's a full chapter on understanding malted barley and adjuncts. So it's chapter 15 if you have this book. So really interesting from what I got through. Actually, I give myself more credit. I got through like 5 pages. But it kind of just talks about different things about malting. So there are different steps in the malting process. You can pretty much malt any grain, but they usually use barley. And from what I'm seeing, and based on the like websites I looked over, the videos I watched, and the How to Brew book, we use 2 and 6 row are like the biggest ones that we use. Overseas, they actually only use 2 row for beer, but here we use 2 and 6 row, and I'll have to show you guys a picture of the 2 differences. And people thought that they genetically modified the 6 row to just make it more robust, but it actually is a wild mutation that happened, and it became a 6 row barley. So with that, they have to steep it, so it's almost like steeping tea. They have to steep the grains. And then after it's steeped, so pretty much putting it in the amount of water that they can absorb, germinating, which is the process that started in steeping. It kind of helps them grow and modify the grain. Then we get into kilning. If you remember when we did what episode was that? I think it was probably the Rahr and Sons episode that we learned about kilned malts, because apparently all malts are kilned. So malt is a characteristic of the beer, but it's not necessarily a thing. It's barley, wheat, rye is malted, and they kiln it. So that just means that they cook it to help dry out the green malt, stopping the germination process, so that way they don't grow to a certain amount. So once they get the proper amount that they want for the growth, they will stop the germination by heating it up. And depending on how long you heat them up, there's actually in my book different temperatures of getting different sugar caramelization. So if you want this kind of sugar where you stop cooking, or if you have to kiln it at higher temperatures, that'll kind of change what flavor. And it's pretty much a minimum temperature of what you need. So very interesting. It's a lot of it was over my head, so I feel like I had to look pretty strongly into this to even get an understanding of it. If you guys remember from our Rahr and Sons episode, the Rahr family actually has they do have a malting company. So that was started back in the day, and they've been around for like 170, 180 years. So they have their own website. So it's actually Rahr Malting Company. I believe they're out in Minnesota, and they have so many different styles of malt. Malt is just, but like just in general, very interesting by itself because there are two different types of malt. There are base malts, which all beers pretty much will have, and specialty malts where you incorporate specific flavors. So if you want a coffee flavor, if you want to, like if you want specific caramelization flavors, a deeper, richer, roastier flavor. So very cool, very interesting. You can pretty much malt anything that's a grain. So let's get into some of our beers.
First one?
What do we got first, babe? Sorry, I feel like there's a lot of education. I'll kind of talk a little bit more as we go along, but very important. And of course, because we're talking about Rahr and Sons, we had to have a Rahr and Sons beer on the episode.
The Iron Thistle.
Okay.
This beer is 7% ABV and 35 IBUs. So it's gonna be on the, not so bitter side. And it's actually their first national grand champion winner.
Ooh, cool.
So this is a award-winning beer.
And it's a Scottish ale.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, ales again, remember top fermenting.
They're known for its super malty, rich caramel flavors and boozy ABV.
Do you say caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Ooh, I say caramel. That's why my brain got
You're
confused.
lying.
Oh, you know what? I should have had my ring of cards to look at the Scottish ale. Yeah. I'm assuming that the colors are probably going to be dark brown to probably not black. Probably between dark brown and dark brown for most of these, which is 20 to 30 SRMs.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. You guys know we don't really like dark beer, so this is a stretch for us to do something. I would actually say that's probably closer to a dark amber almost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that color again is coming from the kilning process. So these, even though the grain may not necessarily be this dark, it's because of the roasting and the kilning that they end up doing. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Iron Thistle. They have like the Celtic thingy on here too. That's a little bit different on the front. I don't think the other ones had that from Rahr and Sons. So Rahr and Sons is European German in background, so just kind of keep that in mind.
It's dark, but
yeah, but yeah, in the light.
To the light
I would say it's probably more of a brown. Yeah, between dark amber and brown. Okay, cool. It smells really nice when you first kind of get that aroma.
It has a pleasant smell.
It's a little tiny bit coffee smell to me. I know that it's gonna taste caramelly-ish. What do you think? There is a tiny bit of caramel, not caramel, coffee for me. Very subtle.
Very subtle, but I do taste the caramel a lot more.
Really? Okay, let me try it. Have I rated this beer before? Have you rated this beer before? Wow. You know what? I forgot to.
We haven't had any of these beers before.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I forgot to check in the Reverie when we were doing the Martin House episode. Reverie, if you guys didn't know, and I didn't know, I Googled it. It's actually kind of being lost in a daydream, essentially. So I was like, ooh, Reverie is kind of like being in a daydream. So very cool. So one of these other websites that I'm checking out here, it says it's a learning how to homebrew website. Malty beers are earthy and complex. Several flavors can be noted depending on the beer and the characteristics of the grain. So caramel, chocolate, coffee notes, nutty, fruity, bready, dark and brown
sweet.
ales.
It's on the sweeter side.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I could probably drink one of these and not be sad about it.
No, yeah.
I do
this
like
is,
this one.
this is drinkable. This is not nothing to be mad about.
Maybe I won't be as scared to have Iron Thistle when we go back to Rahr and Sons. Yeah. We actually just went to Rahr and Sons yesterday.
But I don't think they had it in their.
It just depends on their rotation.
Yeah, because they only have about 6 beers
usually on tap.
So even though they have a lot of beers.
Yeah, actually, I noticed like by the fridge. They had a bunch of their signs kind of sitting on the side, but yeah, so they just released their Mosaic beer, which is technically also a malty beer. We could have probably did that, but they haven't canned yet, so they're giving out half pours.
They started canning today, but only growlers. Gosh. What would you rate it?
This is actually not bad. I'd probably give it
not bad at all.
I'd give it a 3.5. Because I wouldn't say 3.75 for this, because I know I'm not gonna go out of my way to drink this.
No, same 3.5 for me.
I would say that this is a good contender for Rahr and Sons. I mean, if I had one of those days where on Wednesdays it gives you the 3 bands, the band with 3 pours and a half pour, I'd probably put this into the rotation for sure. And alcohol wise, not too bad. So you can have a couple of these and still feel fine. So yeah, cool. Great find. I'm glad we saw it.
No, yeah.
And of course, I was like, for me, we had to. I was like, oh, we got to do Rahr & Sons. They have most of the malts in the United States are purchased from them. Like 90% of breweries use their malts. Just saying. Cool. Okay. What's our next beer?
Next one we got.
Remember, Fort Worth, Texas, because we have different cities today.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was Fort Worth. So now we're moving on to Lakewood Brewery.
Lakewood Brewery.
No, yes, it's in Garden. Winter Warmer Ale.
Winter Warmer?
So I guess consider a Belgian strong dark ale.
Winter
Belgian
Warmer
strong dark ale.
If you've never been to DFW, Lakewood, I would say, is probably northeast of Dallas, right? Yeah, northeast of Dallas. It's probably a little bit south from Garland area. Or sorry, Plano. It's probably a little bit southeast of Plano. So it's up there, McKinney, Plano, Garland area. It's probably like an hour and something drive for us. It'd probably be pretty far.
On the can it says 7.5.
Okay, let's go after that.
Yeah, let's go off the can. And it's 20 IBUs.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be it's not gonna be bitter.
Yeah, it's lower amount, 20. Okay,
sure.
not too bad.
And
not too bad.
A lot of the Belgian strong dark ales are pretty much like all their versions of it are malty and very malty and balanced. So and some of them are bitter, but this one with the low IBUs is not gonna be on that bitter side.
Okay, cool.
So
let's try it out. Sweater weather. It's got a little campfire on it. It kind of looks like it's like an ugly sweater print on the can, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, so this one still on the darker side.
Would you say it's darker than the Iron Thistle?
No, they're probably about the same.
Let me pour some.
Yeah, pointing to the light.
So you guys can see the color.
It's darker.
Okay. So more of a dark and probably a brown. Oh, do you need my help? Sorry. I should probably drink my water because I was neglecting it until last episode. I actually started drinking again. Drinking water. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
What do you guys think? Yeah, I can definitely see through this one. This is more dark amber, but this one's definitely on the dark side. On the dark side. Okay, check it out. Let's see. Ooh, it's nice and cold. So we got really smart. We started using my lunch bag for that I bring my lunch with to work, so we can keep the beers next to us, but also keep them cold while we're recording. That way we're not drinking hot beer, warm beer, room temp beer.
I mean, it smells pleasant. It's not bad.
I was gonna say, I almost don't smell anything, but
yeah.
Oh, I can taste the booze a little bit on that. What does it smell like? What does that smell for you? It's kind of nutty to me.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah.
It's an interesting taste. This one's
I think this is more like bready to me.
Yeah, there's a lot more. This is bready.
Bready, sure. Nutty, kind of. What? Oh, that's just cool. On their can, it says what it pairs with: aged Gouda, fudge brownies. I can see my breath. That's funny. Enjoy the great outdoors with a big classic Belgian style winter warmer. 'Tis the season for fire pits, patio heaters, and good company, even though it's May. And I wonder about that for shelf life purposes. How long those beers really last or stay good for. So in my mind, I'm like kind of like 6 months for some of these heavier beers.
Mentions that was probably like up to a year or something like that.
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like quality-wise, that might be a good question for us to ask.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and guys, did you see I got a haircut? Look. Thank you to Panther City Salon for doing me up. I had Wyatt cut my hair. He was cool. I haven't cut my hair in like 3 years. I blame COVID and not finding a hair salon because after moving to Texas, I was just like, whatever. I wasn't really worried about my hair, and I just chop it off or donate it. So this is the first time I've had a real haircut in probably 3 to 5 years. I mean, your sister cut my hair once, but she really chopped it off. But she has cosmetology experience, so I would count that. That was 3 years ago. But yes, shout out to Panther City Salon.
Well, this one, what do you think about this one?
I like this one. Let me try it again. I
don't know. The taste is very interesting.
It's it's more bready and almost nutty. Yeah. Like I can taste the winter weather in there.
No, definitely, yes. It's I'm trying to figure out
I don't know if I like it.
What,
Like,
yeah,
I can't really.
like I'm in
It's
between.
confusing me.
I'm in between if I'm like, is that something I could go for? Or?
I probably wouldn't. The flavor's a little bit different. It also could be that it's a little bit on the older side. That it has that flavor that finishes a little bit.
Yeah.
On the maybe a little bit past date taste to me. I would give it a 3.
It's
But at least we know aged Gouda.
Yeah. It's okay beer, I guess you could say. Just like okay.
What's the average rating for
it? Average on this is a 3.5.
Okay, so
out of 1,200 check-ins.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3.5, averaging 3.5.
What are you rating it?
Probably a 3. I'm not gonna go 2.75 because it's not a bad beer, but I can't go 3.25 because it's an average beer, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. For me, I love the can and I love that they have the pairings on there, but for me, it's not very special.
This is for me. It's similar to that sour we had for Martin House that was just a sour.
Oh, the pomegranate.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, the Reverie?
Didn't have anything special
Reverie?
to it. It's just a sour.
Like the
this
Iron
is
Thistle.
just a strong ale. This is
The
just
Iron.
a Belgian. No, I was just saying that's just a Belgian strong ale. That's
Okay,
it.
very classic take on a strong ale. And yeah, with a name like Sweater Weather, you'd think that they'd have something more unique to it. But again, that flavor profile, maybe that's what they were going for. It is a little bit different. Versus like the Iron Thistle, I feel like it had a little bit more layers to it. It's a little bit more complex in the flavor profile.
For sure.
Okay, cool. What's our last one? Dark beers, man.
Yeah, this one's this one's gonna be scary.
Just scary.
So this is from Tupps Brewery.
That one's in McKinney.
In McKinney, yeah.
So another northern, way out there, hour and 15-ish minutes from us probably. I like Tupps. I like they have the juice pack beer.
Yeah.
That's what I like from them. Do we know of beers that we like from Lakewood?
I think we've never been to Lakewood.
We've never been there, but I definitely
know we've
had
some beers, but I can't remember. It's been a minute.
I'm gonna look.
Mm-hmm.
It's still American Craft Beer Week, you guys. We're recording a little bit ahead of schedule because we're going on our cruise. Oh, the Temptress is from Lakewood.
Oh, yeah.
We've had that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the only. Oh, and the Muy Importante. You like that one? It's a Mexican lager. You would remember this one.
Oh yeah. We
that
had that
good.
At the beer lady. This one is called a Dive Bar Brunch, so it's gonna be an American stout. This is you probably, I don't know if you don't like coffee, but it's brewed with cold brew coffee, coconut, and cocoa nibs.
Cocoa nibs. That makes me think of coco añejo.
Probably it's probably gonna have about that same taste.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. We probably could have did that for this episode, but I don't know if they can coco añejo from Hop Fusion.
So it's a 9.8 ABVs. IBUs I don't know. They did not mention
Maybe
it.
stouts don't have.
But let's see. Let's try it out and see what we think about the IBUs.
So they don't mention on Untappd the IBUs. It might be that it's just a stout and they don't have IBUs. Mm-hmm. Comparing a stout to a porter, to a strong ale, to a Scottish ale.
So this looks start right off the bat.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, I'm not excited about this one.
Yep.
So just so stouts are going to be a little bit thicker of a beer. Porters are considered like a watered down stout essentially. This one, it looks like it's black pretty much. This reminds me of Guinness for sure. I wonder if they pour this. No, not really. Actually, pouring it doesn't look as dark as it is in a glass. I wonder if this is on a nitro tap when they do serve it. That is dark. That's probably black to dark brown to black.
Think so?
Look at the color difference.
So. Oh, there's a malt profile.
Cool.
Body all heavy, rose heavy, color heavy, balanced bitter. It's a 2 out of 5. A sweet 3 out of 5.
Okay, cool.
So, it says IBUs here. It's 30 IBUs, 50 SRMs.
Oh man, that's not even on my scale. Oh yeah, 40 plus is black on the SRM scale, which is the color scale for beer. Cool. I'm glad you look at that. Maybe we can update Untappd so we can put the IBUs on there. Because it's not listed on Untappd. What was it, 30?
30 IBUs,
That's not too bad. Okay, cold brew coffee.
So let's try it out. Oh, it smells.
Oh, it smells like dirt.
It smells like
This is the
a
earth.
coffee shop. Like you're walking straight into Starbucks.
It smells like Manhattan Ale Project because they have their coffee cold brew stuff. It smells like the earth.
Yeah, it smells like coffee ground.
Like ground and dirt, but also coffee ground, I guess.
So it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
It tastes kind of
The
bad.
booze.
Like,
well, my first sip,
old.
I didn't really get the boost yet, but it's almost a 10%er. So I was expecting a.
It's coffee for sure. This is not my favorite.
Yeah, I was expecting a like straight punch of alcohol, but nope, I don't see it there.
I just taste the coffee. This brew will remind you of the local bar around the corner where you used to sing karaoke. The bartenders know your name, and you meet new friends every time you walk in. Pairs perfectly with stories from the night before. That's dope. And on the front of the can, it looks like a little, like Joe's Crab Shack sign. Cool. Okay. That's not my favorite.
I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of. I mean, lately I've been every time I go to Hot Fusion, they always give me a coco añejo. This is kind of similar to that, but this is more roasty.
Yeah.
A lot more roasty than the coco añejo.
So let me tell you about some of these Rahr malts. So they have Rahr Old World Pilsner, Pale Ale, North Star Pils, Premium Pilsner, Red Wheat, 2-row, 6-row, Ultimate Wheat, Kilned Caramel, 47, 30, and 80. I'm wondering if that's the color, like the time frame that they probably cook it at. Very cool. They've got a lot, you guys. So many malts to choose from. It smells like, for me, it's definitely like full on earth. Wait, did we end up rating the beer? No,
not yet.
I'm gonna give it. I want to be fair. I don't like these flavor beers, or these style of beers, especially this last one. Anything with cold brew, I do not drink coffee whatsoever. So something like this, I'm gonna try it, but I'm not gonna necessarily go out of my way at all ever to get this, unless it was a flight. Unless I had a 5-pour, 6-pour flight, I might get a dark beer just to be adventurous, just to try it. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, same. I would say about a 3 as well.
Okay.
These beers are obviously not our go-tos, but I mean, I could have one beer. I could have one.
I think I would prefer Guinness over this beer.
Oh yes,
Guinness. Because it just gives you straight coffee ground, like not like almost burnt coffee ground flavor. I would prefer a Guinness over this. But maybe this might be something that people like. I don't know. All 3 of these breweries, I'm pretty sure, are all technically micro breweries, because they all sell cans in-house, I'm pretty sure. What would you say are some of your other beers that you can think of off the top of your head of like malty beers that you would distinguish with malty flavors?
Oh man, that's hard.
For me, I think of Velvet Hammer.
Oh yeah.
And I think of Guinness, and I think of the Smithwick's Red Ale is kind of a little bit malty, on the maltier end. What was that other one? Fire Ant Funeral. What is it? Ant Funeral? Is that from Petticolas? No, that's from Texas Ale Project. But yeah, just a couple beers I think of that have that flavor. So really, malty beers, you technically have malt in all different types of beers, and whether or not you're kilning it at a specific temperature will make those caramelized flavors, toffee flavors, chocolate flavors, coffee, stouty flavors will come out. So it really just depends on what you're wanting to brew and how you're wanting to brew your beers. There is a market for these. Obviously, we have them in stores. But yeah, what was your favorite for today?
Probably the first one.
The Thistle, Iron Thistle. I mean, it's nationally recognized, obviously. He's won awards.
Yep.
I would probably prefer this one too. Mags picked the order today, so I think he did really good color-wise. They look like they went from dark amber to brown to dark brown, aka technically it's black based on the can.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
No, all of these beers are unique. They're darker. I mean, we're starting to, or at least me, I'm trying to get more into the darker beers because back then, we were afraid of them. I'm trying to keep trying them. And I mean they're coming. They're kind of
growing on you.
Growing on me, yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Yep.
I will leave you guys with one more little note. Specialty malts, which are considered non-base malts, are non-enzymatic malts that have been kilned or roasted to higher temperatures to generate the variety of flavors to enhance the beer. So those the specialty malts are going to be cooked at the higher temperatures. And actually on that side of the page, it talks about the sugar caramelization minimum temperatures. So for me, it was worth trying out a couple new beers that we probably wouldn't necessarily pick off a line or for a full pour. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to kind of try and do stuff. I hope this sparks some interest in you guys to go out and try some malty beers. You know that we are not fans, and we're starting to slowly ease our way into more malty beers. It's funny, the first time that we met Kenny's girlfriend, we met them at, was it Brass Tap? I think it was Brass Tap. So when we met them, she actually mentioned that she only likes stouts. And I do have a friend that her tag on Instagram or on Untapped is Scout, yeah. And so I was just like, gosh, I commend the people that like those darker beers. I wonder if it's people that like coffee. Like, I really prefer the stouts and darker beers and porters and stuff. But I could definitely get into a Scottish ale. I could definitely get into a porter. No, stout wise, really just depends. I think we're getting deeper and deeper into the mix.
Yeah, we have to keep trying.
Keep training our palates. But okay, well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Pretty quick. We're going to be releasing it on Sunday since we're going to be on the cruise the rest of the week. So we will not see you guys until after Memorial Day. So thank you again for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. We're up to 19 subscribers, you guys. Like crazy growth since our last episode. Shout out to Shug because he commented on my post as soon as I posted on Instagram that we did a Martin House episode. So we're getting some good exposure with the breweries. So we've had a couple brewers and people from the breweries reaching out. So it's really fun. I'm glad we're able to kind of do this as a hobby, but reach some people. We do our research. We like it. It's fun to learn about beer. I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. But until next time, this is Beer Me Dr. V, where to never refill too soon. I'm Dr. V.
And Mags.
See you guys next time. Have a happy Memorial Day. Don't cheers me with